in every movie you've ever seen. Was added in post.
Almost every sound in every movie you've ever seen was added in post-production. From footsteps falling and belts buckling to the click of a computer keyboard, sound effects added in post-production by a Foley artist are what make movies believable. In this segment, we're going to explore the Digital Juice sound effects library and show you how to find the sounds you need to finish your scene. Sound has always been a difficult part of the filmmaking process. Of course, the earliest films had no sound at all, but even with the latest technologies and the most talented sound recording artists, sound acquisition in the field during production can be extremely difficult, if not impossible. Even documentaries and unscripted reality programs make extensive use of sound effects libraries, such as the Digital Juice sound effects library, which contains 11,569 effects. Now, with that many effects, it can be difficult to find exactly the sound you need, and that's where our Juicer 3 software comes into play. The Juicer is a simple utility that lets you browse and audition your Digital Juice audio media, which is organized into categories. I like to turn on the handy autoplay feature when I work so I can quickly move from sound to sound using the arrow keys on my keyboard. Working like this can be creatively stimulating, but it isn't very efficient, especially if you're on a deadline. One of the most overlooked features of the Juicer is the little search box at the top of the browser panel here. Just type in a keyword and the Juicer will instantly return a list of related sound effects. One of the secrets of sound design is that you don't need to be 100% authentic and literal in your selection of sound effects to match on-screen action. In fact, in many cases, it's impossible or simply impractical to get literal matches. Think about science fiction movies or action movies for that matter. So when you enter a search term into the search box, you're going to need to be a little bit creative and open-minded about what you type in. What's the right sound effect? In the words of Duke Ellington, if it sounds good, it is good. Let's take a look at this clip of this couple rowing a boat on a lake and see what we can find. I'm going to start with boat, which brings up mostly motorboat sounds. So I try water, which gets me closer. There are some things here I might use. I'm definitely being generous with what I try because it is hard to know exactly what is going to work until you are back in your editing software looking at the video. As I look at the water clips, this gives me the idea to try splash. Some nice clips here. As I find elements I might use, I drag them over here to the batch list. Besides the foreground sound of the oars in the water, I'm going to need a little ambience. Again, I could just browse into the ambience category of effects and look for what I need, but it's more efficient to just use the search box again. I type in park and voila, ambience city park day. Once we've built up a decent batch list, we can grab all of the sounds we need off of the DVDs in the library and save them over to our hard drive by clicking the Render All button at the bottom of the Juicer. The very large, high-quality source files are organized across the 10 DVDs in the library, but the Juicer will prompt you to insert the correct discs. The Juicer does have a couple of other features that I want to touch on here quickly. If we click the Settings button here, it switches into a mode that allows us to modify the output. You can see that the default RAW format for our sound effects library is 24-bit 96 kHz. If our project will eventually be distributed on DVD video discs or digital television, we can change our render settings to 16-bit 48 kHz. Since I usually work on the same kinds of projects over and over again and need exactly the same settings all the time, I'm also going to click this little twirly here and select Save as Default for this type, so I don't actually have to ever do this again. Well, that's as complex as the juicer gets for sound effects. I hope you can see how the simple search tool can really help move your next project forward more quickly. If you have any additional questions about this topic or any other technical topic, feel free to give the Digital Juice Tech team a call or simply drop us an email. And remember, there are no technical solutions to artistic problems, so don't let technology get in the way of your creativity.